Welcome, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by. You might have saw my last video, which is something, I don't know what it's titled yet because I haven't done it, edited it, or uploaded it, or anything like that. Might be titled something like, falling asleep to movies. Maybe it's simply titled like that, or falling asleep to movies as a kid, or whatever. You might have seen that, which is the last video that was published on this channel. And that video, if you watched it, was thanks to or courtesy of, or the idea was from either Michael J. Fox or Thomas F. Wilson. I was watching the 40th anniversary Back to the Future, panel or whatever, celebration thing, and either it was Michael J. Fox or Thomas F. Wilson who brought up, Back to the Future fans saying, I love the movie so much I fall asleep to it, which actually made me remember that I used to fall asleep to movies as a kid. And then that idea, kind of catapulted into this idea, which is, oh, I can remember waking up to movies as an adult. So as a kid, I fell asleep to movies, and if you've seen that recording, I kind of still do. If you really want to think about it, watch that recording to get that whole thing. I kind of still fall asleep to movies, I guess, to a certain extent. Check out that video to get the full gist of that. But this video is kind of interesting. It's basically based on the other video with falling asleep to movies as a kid. This one's waking up to movies as an adult. So basically, back in the day, not so much anymore. Here we go again, UFO. Jesus Christ, what a drag. So with the advent of technology like MP3 technology and iPod rather technology, and the iPod docks and all this and that, I was able to, as an adult, actually wake up to movies. So I'd take DVDs of some movies that I really liked, rip the MP3s from the DVDs, put them on an iPod, put the iPod on the dock, and depending on what iPod dock you got, I've got a bunch of Sony iPod docks. You can basically wake up to anything on the iPod to have the audio turn on. And what a better way to wake up instead of, I definitely prefer that to so back in the day, not so much anymore. Well, if you watch my, falling asleep to movies as a kid or whatever the hell that video's called, you'll know that I fall asleep to, you know what I fall asleep to if you watched that video. If you didn't watch that video, feel free to do so. But in my later life, I'm like, well, because of this, newfangled technology at the time, I was able actually to wake up to movies. So I can distinctly remember, like, I don't so much wake up to movie audio anymore. It's more like, see, the thing is, ever since I got a hold of a tape recorder in the 80s, I've just been recording life. So back in the 80s, before I got the Fisher-Price video camera, I was I was recording audio, and then after I got the Fisher-Price video camera, I was recording audio and video. So a lot, you can take, and then over the years I've taken audio from videos, and it's just like I'm always listening to just audio. People listen to the radio in the background. I just listen to what I call home audio, which is just audio that I've recorded, in my childhood or more, young adulthood or not so young adulthood or whatever. So I've always got just some frickin' audio going. So I mostly wake up to some kind of audio, whether it's audio from the old days or the more recent days or whatever. But for a period there, I was actually waking up to some, MP3 rips of some movies. I can remember waking up to, like, for a long time there, I was waking up to, like, Slumber Party Massacre, and now I got to say, because it's like this remake bullshit, I have to say the original Slumber Party Massacre, and that movie was because that movie was so short, you could hear like the majority of the movie too when you woke up to it. It was like, I realize it's dark, but here, let me try something. Yeah, the reason I don't have it on automatic is because automatic would be a lot darker than this is now. This is manual exposure, pressed up a few bits to make it a little brighter than automatic would, and that's why it gets so bright. This time of year it's just kind of a bummer because of the position of the sun in the sky. When it's behind the clouds it's dark, and when it's out then it's like so bright, so it's just like you gotta just kind of bear with me. But what the hell was I saying? So because Slumber Party Massacre is so short, you get, like, with the iPod dock thing that I got or whatever, it'd come on, and I think it'd stay on for an hour and then it'd go off by itself. So you could listen to the majority of Slumber Party Massacre, when you woke up, and it, the movie was like, I think it's like 74 minutes long or something. So you're basically listening to the majority of the movie. And I gotta tell you, if you've never experienced, and here's something that's interesting, if you've never experienced like waking up to the sound of a movie like that, it's really kind of strange because you're in this kind of whatever, you know, this between unconsciousness and consciousness. So it's like this Zen state. It's almost like depending on, it's almost like yeah, some kind of, like I say, just, you know, hippie Zen kind of whatever way to experience a movie. Like in a way, it's almost like you're, you know, if you're familiar with the visuals of the movie, your mind kind of fills those in, and it's almost like this even better than, like, you know, virtual reality kind of way to almost live the movie. Really, it's really strange, like being like, you know, half conscious and half not, like, you know, going in and out of consciousness, listening, you know, with the movie audio playing in the background. It's really interesting, and then because you're not concentrated on the visuals, you can hear nuances in stuff in the audio that you never heard before. And you know, who would have thought there's nuances to hear in Slumber Party Massacre? But yeah, it was just like if I had to wake up for whatever reason, you know, work or non-work or whatever, it was so much a better way to wake up to, like, you know, movie audio of something you like. I think another thing I used to, it's so funny how I can't really think of all that many things, same with like falling asleep to movies as a kid, but I'm pretty sure like it seemed like I maybe ripped the MP3 audio of like the, you know, the Creature movie from the mid 80s or whatever, you know, Creature, that movie, that rip off of Alien and stuff, like these random movies that I'll just be like, hey, let's try waking up to the. Oh, another one is like, I bet I woke up to like from 1988 Scarecrows, the audio of Scarecrows. And if you watch my review of Scarecrows, I think I mentioned that for being so low budget at the time, that had a really nice stereo surround soundtrack, you know, and I'm pretty sure I woke up to like the audio, the first hour of the audio of Scarecrow, so you could listen to the majority of these movies if they were 90 minutes or less or whatever. And it was just a, you know, I would recommend it if you're a big movie fan and you've got the ability to, you know, to do the same thing that I did way back in the day. I'd recommend trying to wake up to movie audio, because it's a lot funner than. Of course, one of the downfalls to waking up to a movie is if it's too quiet. Depending on how tired you are, I've been known to like just fall right back asleep, and just the audio would be playing, but I'll be so tired that I just fall back asleep anyway. So I'd recommend, if you gotta be somewhere, if you gotta be up, then maybe have not only the audio come on, but you know, a backup to really get you up, because you might, you know, fall asleep, you know, with the soothed sound of, you know, high school girls being drilled to death in Slumber Party Massacre. But yeah, just something that I'm like, it kind of, you know, when either Michael J. Fox or Thomas F. Wilson said that thing about fans falling asleep to Back to the Future, I'm like, oh, I used to fall asleep to movies as a kid, and then I'm like, oh, I used to wake up to movies as an adult. So two kind of complementary video topics: falling asleep to movies as a kid, waking up to movies as an adult. But yeah, I don't wake up to movies that much these days. Yeah, because the current setup I got is I'm like putting like an iPad with the line in through an iPod dock, so you can't really wake because of that unless you just play the audio on a constant loop. I even tried it. You can't have, the iPod dock won't come on with the auxiliary input, so I can't even have, I guess I could put an iPad on the dock, or an iPod rather, and wake up to audio that way. But I've got this this phone that I wake up to, like just this audio from me and my dad somewhere in 1991. I'm making them, the year prior in 1990 I built this cardboard Psycho house, and like my dad accidentally had, like, I can't remember how he ruined it, but between 1990 and 91, like my dad accidentally stepped on it or something, so I like made him in 91, it was towards the end of the summer, I made him help me build another cardboard Psycho house. So I've been waking up to you know, I've been waking up to, and unfortunately this phone, the way I do it with the phone, it's only 15 minutes. It'll come on, you can, any MP3 on the phone you can wake up to, but it'll only go on for, it'll go off after 15 minutes, which is a bummer. But yeah, you should be able to get up in 15 minutes anyway or whatever. But yeah, I've been waking up for the longest time to this audio of me just, you know, kind of this making my dad build a Psycho House because he trashed the other one I made. And it's kind of this, just, you know, the rapport me and my dad had, you know, when I was 14 years old as a teenager and stuff was just so, you know, it's probably common among, you know, father, son, whatever, but it was just this grumpy kind of just snarky, just our whole rapport. Like if anyone, I can't imagine anyone from the outside listening to it. It's just like, it was just.
What are you doing?
Well, you care.
I care a lot.
It was just, you know, and part of you wants to feel bad, but I mean, you know, when we were there in the moment, we knew, you know, we loved each other. The rapport was just insane. But I've certainly got the option to, like, you know, I suppose put an iPad on the dock, or iPod rather, and wake up to an hour of audio that way. Another thing I tried is I'm a big fan of the film that came out last year, In a Violent Nature, and I might do this in the future. Is that because of this phone thing that I got going on, where a phone I can wake up to an MP3 on the phone, 15 minutes worth, I put this segment of, I mean, I like all of In a Violent Nature, but this segment that's in particularly, you know, interesting audibly, one of the most busy audio points of the movie, which is, you know, him walking upon the people at the campfire and telling the story and stuff, and, you know, being cognizant of the fact that the phone only plays 15 minutes, I'm like, okay, let's see what this distance of time is between him just, you know, it getting dusk and the people driving by on the ATV yelling on all this and that, until like that guy dies at the tree or whatever. And I think it's just right around 15 minutes from that point to that point, so it's perfect. So once I actually did wake up to that bit of In a Violent Nature. So yeah, like I find, you know, not only is like falling asleep to movie audio enjoyable, but because of the miracle of modern technology that would, you know, happen in the early 21st century, I was able to actually not only fall asleep to audio from movies, but now wake up to movies. So I mean, I'm not saying you're not a real movie fan if you don't fall asleep and wake up to movie audio, but that's one way I sure know I'm a huge movie fanatic, is the fact that I've not only fallen asleep to, but I also wake up to, or have been known to wake up to movie audio, you know, Slumber Party Massacre audio, or Creature audio, or Scarecrows audio, or wish I would have documented all of the, you know, probably maybe Terror Train, you know. I wish I would have documented the stuff that I was waking up to back in the day, because you know, it's all this just like Tears in Rain, you know, it's just lost in time or whatever. But it's sure a much more enjoyable way to wake up rather than like I say, if you gotta be somewhere, I'd have that as a backup just in case because it's been very common where I frickin', you know, waking up, the audio initially woke me up, and then I'm so tired that I just fell back asleep and just slept through the audio. So either that, or I've even been known to have an audio backup or something, you know. You got to have all your bases covered if you have to be up and be somewhere. But I guess that pretty much does it for this video. It's going to be the last for now of the, you know, there's nothing really else I mean, freaking falling asleep to movies, waking up to movies, that's kind of covers the gamut of things, I guess. I mean, then there's watching movies awake, you know. I mean, I've been talking about that for 15 years already, or 14, was it 14 years. I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, now I covered everything, you know. I've been talking for 14 years on this channel about being awake, conscious, watching movies, and now I've got falling asleep to movies and waking up to movies, I guess. And I've even got sleeping while movie audio is playing if I wake up and fall back asleep to a movie audio alarm. So I've got the whole gamut of, you know, movie playing covered. Conscious, unconscious, falling asleep, waking up, I got it all covered. So I guess it pretty much does it for this video. Hope you found something enjoyable somewhere in this video. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, we'll catch you on the next video.
What are you doing?
Well, you care.
I care a lot. What are you doing? goriest, grossest.
Grossest.
That's what it says.
So? What's your...
Most outrageous movies ever made.
What a duh. Don't be reading that. You don't.
Oh, just,
You drip on it, you pay.
I don't pay nothing. I pay enough already.
Mm. Well, you can... We're gonna finish the Psycho House tonight.
I don't know about that.
Well, we're gonna get at least some built. That's I know that for sure.
Were you chopping mall? We seen that, didn't we?
Yeah, so what?
Oh, quit acting up for them. Film.
I'm not. Sucker. Playing to the camera.
Yeah.